It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. If this is your very first time tuning in, a huge welcome. We're so excited that you've joined us today. We have an amazing show. We're going to be introducing one of our monthly guests back, and I'm always excited to be chatting with her. She's just amazing, and I absolutely love chatting with her. As I said, if this is your very first time, huge welcome. You know, we've been doing this for 12 years now. We have an amazing range of hosts, shows. All of our podcasts are recorded, so we always welcome you guys to all check them out. These guests are absolutely fantastic, and we love collaborating with everybody. So go be inspired, go be empowered, and that'll definitely brighten your day. All right, today's guest is Rhonda Armour. I am so happy to have you back, Rhonda. You have no idea. It's been over a month now, and it's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me again. I'm excited about our topic today, and it's always amazing being here with you and chatting with you.
It is so much fun. I love it. You know, you are just one of those amazing people that I have so much fun chatting with. But before we get into today's topic, would you mind introducing yourself to our new listeners?
Absolutely. So I am a nutrition and lifestyle coach as well as a personal trainer. And, you know, people often think, well, what does that mean when you're a nutrition coach? Does that mean you're going to tell me, you know, what I have to eat and you know, all these things? And it couldn't be really further from the truth in terms of me sort of dictating to you how you should be living your life. What it really involves that I do with my clients is we're trying to figure out some custom strategies together on how to implement self-care habits. And so that, yes, it will relate to food, but exercise and, you know, moving your body and getting adequate amounts of sleep and how you're managing your stress and really how you're enjoying your life, but from a healthier perspective. And in order to do that, we have to figure out what your lifestyle is like so that we can navigate that lifestyle and implement these habits so that they will work for you long term. So it's not about me, you know, having a cookie cutter approach. Every client is very different, so the approach is different in terms of how we implement and execute the habits so that you can have long-term success and feel amazing in your body and have tons of energy and live the life you really want to live.
You are so cool. I love this. You know, you've been on our program quite a few times now, and we've had you on talking about different tips and different tools, and we're going to be going back kind of to the basics right now. And you mentioned implementing self-care. So what does that mean?
So, you know, it's interesting because we all kind of know what it means to take care of ourselves, what's required, right? Like I mentioned earlier, we all know we need to eat healthy, right? We know that we need to move our bodies. We know we need to get, you know, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and we need to make sure we keep our stress in check. We know all of these things, but sometimes where we get hung up is we don't know where to start or how to start. And there's a few things that I think needs to be sort of looked at before you just dive into, you know, cutting out things out of your diet and starting, a really intense exercise routine. I think you have to do some pre-work before that. And one of the things that I want you to think about at the very beginning is what you actually feel you deserve around your self-care. Because sometimes we like to compare ourselves to other people and what other people are doing or what other people what we think they expect from us. And I really want you to figure out, do you actually believe that you deserve better self-care? And if the answer is yes, I'm hoping it's yes, because I really do believe that we all deserve to be healthy and strong and to take care of our health. But I want you to determine if you think you really deserve that. And then if you do, and let's hope you do, I want you to sort of ask yourself what you're ready to do in order to change your self-care habits, what you're willing to do, and then what you're able to do. And then on the flip side of it, what aren't you ready to do right now? And what aren't you willing to do right now? And what aren't you able to do? Because it really involves having an honest conversation with yourself. Because maybe right now you're not willing to carve out time to exercise. And that's okay, but maybe you're willing to start planning healthier meals for you and your family. So having that honest conversation at the beginning before we start implementing things is really, really important.
So I have a question for you.
Sure.
You know, we have a lot of people that have come on our program, and you know, they're big on vision boards. Would this be a cool thing to do as a vision board, a health and wellness vision board, so people can actually see it? You know, we're going to be obviously journaling and writing notes and doing things like that, but would a vision board be a great thing to do?
Absolutely, especially if you are a visual person. You want that sort of constant reminder about what your goals are around self-care. You know, being able to like cut out pictures, you know, out of magazines or things like that is really cool, or drawing your own pictures, or even just keywords, right, that you find inspirational. Maybe it's, you know, some quotes and things like that, that will sort of keep you on a path to remind you about why you are starting sort of this self-care journey in the first place. Sometimes when things get tough, and we get stuck or we hit little plateaus, we forget to look back as to why we started in the first place. I often have to remind my clients about that, right? They sort of want to throw the towel in because it gets hard. And we go back to the beginning and say, why did we start this in the first place? And things like a vision board or journaling, you know, your thoughts can be really helpful to remind you about, oh yeah, this is why I started to do this. This is what's important to me, and this is how I don't want to go back to feeling how I felt before, even though right now we might be feeling a little bit uncomfortable and things are, like I said, it can be hard and challenging, but I think that's why you sort of have to do the pre-work almost, and like the building a vision board or journaling and writing these things down can be helpful to determine what's important to you and what you're, like I said, what you're ready, willing, and able to do, and what you're not ready, willing, and able to do. And doesn't mean you won't be ready, willing, and able at some point to make some changes to certain areas, but right now we want to be honest with what we are capable of doing right now based on what is going on in our lives.
And then what is the next step after that, after we figure that out, what we're willing to do in order to achieve our goals? What would we do next?
So this is where the custom strategy piece comes in, right? So let's say we want to talk about the nutrition piece, and let's say you want to clean up your diet. You just know that you're not eating as healthy as maybe you should. I want you to think about what are the strategies for implementing that. It's not a matter of saying, I want to eat healthier. Okay, well, what does that mean for you? Are you talking about, I want to eat healthier breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks? Maybe just start with one. Do I want to, increase my protein because I know I'm not getting enough protein, or maybe I don't get enough veggies every day. So I'm just going to start with the strategy of I'm going to implement more vegetables at some of my meals. And I want you to think about the strategies that will work for you, because no one has to, unless you have the, ability to have a personal chef at home, which I'm sure most of us do not, you're the one that's responsible for your meals. So how are you going to implement eating healthier, knowing that maybe you work full-time, you have children, your children have extracurricular activities, maybe you're involved in your community. How are you going to implement healthier eating, knowing you have all of these conflicting sort of priorities in your life? And that's where we have to really start small, right? We don't want to say blanket statement, oh, I'm just going to start eating healthier, because that will last for a day and then life gets, carried away and we get lost in craziness. So the custom strategy of, okay, for me, breakfast is important. I'm going to start to clean up my breakfast. And that's where I would, I'm going to start. And I'm not saying me as me personally, but if you're talking to yourself about this and implementing the strategies, maybe that's where you start. Or like I said, if you want to just do more vegetables in your meals, it's really coming up with strategies that are going to work for you. Again, last time we talked about, or even maybe at the episode before, we talked about, unsubscribing to that diet mentality. This is not about you following a meal plan or anything like that. This is
not a quick fix.
Strategies. Yeah, exactly. So it's a strategy, developing those strategies that work for you. If it's talking, you're talking about, you want to start to work out a little bit more. What is the strategy that's going to work for you? What time of day do you like to work out? What kinds of movement do you like? Do you prefer to be outside? Do you like to participate in a group class at a gym? Figure out what will work for you based on what you enjoy, how much time you have, really analyze all of those details, because if you can get those details sorted at the beginning, the execution of it will be a lot smoother instead of you just diving in and thinking, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym. And then you realize, I hate the gym. And then you've wasted, weeks or months doing something that you haven't enjoyed or kind of doing it here and there sporadically, if you had have just done a little bit of legwork at the beginning, you could have come up with custom strategies that are relevant to you.
And I love that because you're basically doing a healthy lifestyle. You know, This is not a quick fix. This is a long-term plan, and surrounding yourself with support network. How important is that?
Oh my gosh, that is so incredibly vital. I don't want you to ever feel like you're on an island doing this all by yourself. There's always someone around in your life that is willing to support you or help you or guide you or cheer you on, whether it's a family member, it's a coworker, it's a coach like myself, it's a fitness instructor at the gym that you go to, and sometimes we just need to be okay with asking for help or asking for support or just saying to someone, you know what, I'm going to really try to, exercise a little bit more. I'm going to try to eat a little bit healthier. I'd love your support, guidance if you can, finding those people that you trust to create maybe just a partnership with one other person, or maybe it's a group setting that you would get in a gym environment. It's really, really vital to have some support around you so that when things don't go exactly as you've planned, because they don't always go as exactly as you planned, that you have someone or a few people to chat about your frustrations and your challenges and maybe get a different perspective that you wouldn't have seen all on your own. And so I don't want people to think that they have to do this on their own. Trust me, most people are trying to improve their self-care. They just don't know always how to start or where to start. And if they recognize that, my friend so-and-so is starting this, trying to increase their self-care and improve that, then maybe I can, hop along here with them and join the self-care train, and we can do it together. And
I like that.
I think we just have to reach out to people. We don't ask for help very much. And I think we need to start doing that. And it doesn't show signs of weakness. I think it actually shows a sign of strength if you're willing to sort of be vulnerable and put yourself out there.
I agree.
And then you might realize that other people are also trying to do the same thing, and you can have some collaboration there.
Isn't that fun? And a lot of people think that you need to do it with somebody that's here. We live in a virtual world. You could have somebody that's on the other side of the world doing this with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I coach people virtually all the time. My business is 100% virtual. So it doesn't matter where, people are, my clients are anywhere all over the world if they want to be. But the same goes for this. There's lots of different groups, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, where people are looking for support for this type of thing. And like I said, or maybe it's someone in your community, that is looking to get some support as well. And, by you asking for support, you can often be the one that's also giving support, which I think can be a really good feeling when you're also helping out somebody else.
Exactly. Oh, it's so much fun. And you had mentioned in some of our other programs is that incorporating your family, your children. We have a lot of amazing women that listen to our program that are stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
Why not incorporate your children into all this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, not only are we teaching them, about the importance of taking care of themselves physically and mentally, right? But, so it's great to be a great example for them, but get them on board with, get them in the kitchen, helping to prepare meals and teaching them, about preparing healthy meals. Or maybe it's, starting to go on a family walk after dinner, going on a bike ride or something like that, and really integrating these healthy habits as a family, understanding the importance of sleep. And when, things start to get busy in our lives, everyone, we need to maybe manage our stress a little bit better in the household. How do we do that? Getting out into nature really helps with that, so the whole family can participate in things like that. Having game nights, all sorts of fun things that the family really benefits from. And again, if we're just talking about mom here, mom is not feeling like they're doing everything on their own to improve their self-care, that they have the backing of the entire family.
That is so cool. And I like that you said, even going for walks after dinner, spending that time, now that it's nice out, winter's over, let's get outside, enjoy the fresh air. Nature does so much for our health also.
Oh, absolutely. And, I keep seeing, obviously we all know what we've sort of been through the last couple of years and the impact on mental health. And it's really, really starting to become evident from what I'm seeing on everyone, including our kids. I'm seeing this even with my own kids. I kind of thought we got through COVID pretty well. And then now I'm sort of starting to see the after effects of COVID and them being sort of isolated at home. And getting out into nature, all of us, right, is really vital, especially right now. It is known to reduce our blood pressure and our heart rate, and it just gives us clean perspective. And we feel so much better to take on all other aspects of our life when we're out in nature, getting out onto the hiking trails, or like I said, hopping on your bike, when swimming weather is available to you, getting into the pool or the lakes or the rivers and all of those things, and really taking in what nature has to offer. And you will notice instantly that you feel better mentally. And if you feel better mentally, you are better equipped to take on all of the other things that you are sort of driven to take on when it comes to our self-care.
See, guys, isn't this fun? I love having Rhonda on our program. It's giving me a smile to my face. I'm like, I'm looking out the window. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going for a walk today.
Yes.
All right. Rhonda, so you do a lot of workshops. You work one-on-one. You work on groups. Do you have something coming up anytime soon?
I don't have any. I'm really, really busy working on, I think I said it last week that I'm working on my book. So I've been really kind of involved with that, which I think, eventually will benefit, hopefully, everyone listening out there, because it's a real conversation about self-care, about, the way we view our bodies and what we're capable of. And some of my own personal stories and my own, history with dieting and different things, and some client stories. So I'm hoping that the work I'm putting into that right now will, benefit everyone out there if they're, kind enough to read the book. That's sort of where my head has been at lately. But I do also put a lot of time into my monthly newsletters. So if anyone wants sort of some fun tidbits, and it's not a boring read, I try to make it fun. My dog makes a presence in every newsletter as well, with some fun tips. And I also include recipes and all sorts of kind of fun things on there. If you want to sign up, you can go to my website at rhondaarmourcoaching.com and subscribe to the newsletter. So that can always be a good resource as well. That comes out on the first of every month.
Oh, that's excellent. I definitely recommend that for all of our listeners today. So, Rhonda, what, besides, you're obviously quite busy with writing your book, but going to be happening in the future through the summer, do you have any tips and tools for our listeners?
Absolutely. So I do offer, I'm still always taking on new clients. So if you're looking to get some assistance with this and have someone to partner with, like we talked about the support system, I'm always here taking on new clients, no matter how busy I am with the book, because that's always my priority. My clients are my number one priority, and that's where I will always spend most of my time. But, with summer coming up, we always want to feel good, in our own skin. This has nothing to do with bathing suits and weight loss or anything like that. I want people to feel strong and secure no matter what your size is. I just want everyone to be as healthy as possible. And, like we talked about with the nicer weather approaching and summer, be kind to yourself and get out there and enjoy it, and, schedule fun time with your families and vacations and, gatherings with friends and families and barbecues. We have really, it's been a couple of years since we've had that sort of normal summer sort of feeling. And I think this summer is an opportunity to get back to a place where we used to really love summer and creating memories and experiences. And along with that, is taking really good care of yourself, eating really well, exercising, again, out in nature, getting lots of sleep is important, and just overall taking really good care of yourself. But this time of year is an easier time of year to do that, because mentally we are in a better frame of mind than in the dark winter. So do something nice for yourself, but also plan some downtime with friends and family and vacation, because this is the time of year to do it. It's lots of fun, and I want people having fun and enjoying themselves.
That's perfect. And guys, it's baby steps. We're kind of getting back into what it used to be like, enjoy it. just to have fun again. I think that's what we've all missed. We've missed that, and it's so good for us, so good for our mental health, for our physical health, for our spiritual health. We just need to get the fun back in our lives again, and I think everything else will start balancing out.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well said.
Well, my friend, I have had a great time. Is there anything else you'd love to share with us today?
I don't think so. Just be nice to yourselves, be kind to yourselves. Reach out if I can help. Again, it's I do everything virtually, so I'm happy to help, and I always offer a complimentary consultation. So there's no pressure to commit to anything. It's just a nice chat, between me and yourself to see, what your goals are and if there's any way that I can help. But that can be the first baby step you can take is to reach out and see if I might, be able to partner with you in a way that will work for you.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it. And for all of our listeners, we will be posting all of Rhonda's information like we do on our social media so that you can go and check her out. Rhonda, I have had so much fun. It is always a pleasure chatting with you, learning from you, and I can't wait to have you back on again soon.
Thank you. Yes, another month, and we will be into June, full swing of summer.
Oh, my gosh.
That's exciting. I'm always happy to be here. It's always an honor for me, and I really appreciate you having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure, too. Isn't this great, guys? That's why we have all these amazing guests on our program. It is so much fun just to be able to communicate, to talk, to get to know one another. And we learn so much. We have a great time. And, that's what we want to do with the Divas That Care is we want to support one another in any way we can. So make sure that you check out all of our hosts, all of our amazing guests. Go check out Rhonda. She offers so many tips and tools. As you can listen, she's just an amazing woman. So definitely connect with her. I hope that all of you have a fantastic day. Enjoy the weather. If you are having great weather, get outside, go for a walk, and please do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.